Hello, everyone. Hi, and welcome to our session today on empowering technical community leadership, insights, and opportunities. My name is Maria Dror, and I'm the regional reactor lead in EMEA, and I'm going to be moderating today's session and chat. For those of you who are new to the reactor, before we start the session, I wanted to share a bit about our program, where if you register through our website or if you reached out to us from another platform, I just wanted to share a bit about what is the Microsoft Reactor. So Microsoft Reactors are actually hubs for technical learning. We offer different events on different technical areas, either in person and online, depending where you are joining us from. We have 10 different locations for in-person hubs worldwide. So you can see the cities on the screen. But as I mentioned, since our programming is offered online as well, you can actually join our events everywhere in the world, depending where you are joining us from. If you visit our website, and I'm going to share the link soon in the chat, you will find all the upcoming events we have on different technologies, on different levels, where if you are a beginner or an advanced, you can attend our community events and register online. You can also sign up to our newsletter and receive a monthly email with all the upcoming events that we have for the upcoming month, depending on the region and the time zone you're registered from. If you scan the QR code that's now on the screen, you will be able to sign up for our newsletter. Before we start today's session, I wanted to share one of the platforms that we usually promote during our Microsoft Reactor events, and it is the Microsoft Learn program. So Microsoft Learn, if you visit the website, you can scan the QR code that's on the screen. And again, I'm going to share the link soon. You will be able to access free learning opportunities on free technical areas. Where it is from modules to learning path to certification and on-demand content. There are a lot of opportunities for you to learn free on different Microsoft products and technologies. So I encourage you to visit Microsoft Learn, and you can start learning actually today anywhere you are joining from, and it is of course free. Before we start today's session, I wanted to introduce you the code of conduct for today. We highly ask you to be friendly, patient, and respectful in the chat. Though it is an online event, it is still important for us to respect the code of conduct for all of Microsoft events. So please take a minute to read through the code of conduct for today's event. And without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Alice. And she's going to open the session today from the MVP program, and she's going to present all the other speakers. I will be here in the chat moderating. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the comments box to post your questions, and we will take the time to answer them at the end of the presentation. So Alice, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Maria. And again, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this session on empowering technical community leadership. We are absolutely thrilled to have you here. My name is Alice Piras, and I'm a community program manager based in Hamburg, Germany. But as you can see here, I'm not alone on this call, so I won't be alone. I have a fantastic group of people with me today. From Microsoft, I'm delighted to introduce my colleagues Betsy and Claire. We work together as part of the Microsoft community team, where we have the pleasure of working closely with community leaders and influencers around the world. And we are also incredibly fortunate to have some amazing guest speakers today with us. Olajumoke from Nigeria, Rachel, who is also from Nigeria, but she's currently living in beautiful Malta, and Tom from the United Kingdom. And of course, we are excited to hear from you. So as Maria was saying, please feel free to share your questions using the chat function. We'll do our best to address them during this session, but in case we can't get to all of them live, then don't worry, we'll follow up with you after the event. And so concerning the agenda and the content for today, we'll be exploring the power of community by featuring some truly inspiring community leaders. We'll dive into their journeys, we'll highlight their achievements, and we'll discuss how the community played a key role in their growth into leadership positions. So we are going to unpack what community leadership really means, what it takes to become a leader in the tech community, and the impact it can have on others. And at the end, we'll also share some insights about the Microsoft Most Valuable Professional program, which is designed to recognize and empower highly active and engaged technical community leaders. So you will hear about the program's purpose, the nomination process, what it takes to become part of this incredible global family of most valuable professionals. So we are excited to take you on this journey. So I would say, yeah, let's get started. And I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Tom.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, hi, Tom. Thank you. Thank you for
suspense for a minute
joining.
there.
Yeah. Hi, Tom. So we'd like to start with you as our first speaker, and I just have a few questions. So I know you are very active in the community through your own blog, podcast, and you are also a great public speaker, I would say, all over the world. So can you share with us why you believe the community is so important? And also, I think for those who are just beginning, it would be interesting to hear how you have started and how you found success in the community. So I'm going to move in here the slides for you.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's great to talk to everybody, and thanks for everybody for taking the time. Yeah, community's had a massive impact for me. As you say, Alicia, I do a lot in the community these days. I have a podcast, I blog. We do lots of community events, and we support lots of community events as well. And yeah, speaking is one of the fortunate things I get to do. I do get around the world, probably out too much speaking, if anything, but it's nice to meet people in the community in person as well. So I'll kind of take you through why community, I think, in technology in particular, is super important to us. Why community can be valuable to you as well. For those listening to this webinar, like there's a lot you give to community, and there's a lot of value, but there's a lot you get from community as well. Also, then a bit on my personal journey, and how possibly you could start in community and start adding value and getting value from the community as well. Thanks, Luce. So first thing is why community and technology is so important. IT and this space moves incredibly fast, and keeping up is really hard, and it's definitely not possible to keep up without a team or a tribe or a community or a group, however you want to kind of term it. There's just far too much going on, so you need to work with people to keep up. I think that's the most important thing, and it's only got faster over my time in the space as well. And with all the latest stuff, the AI stuff, it's moving incredibly fast. So from a very practical standpoint, community can help you keep up. There's a lot of marketing in technology. I'm sure Microsoft won't mind me saying there's quite a lot of marketing, a lot of good marketing, a lot of marketing, and getting to understand what the reality is, what the impact is, and getting opinions outside of the vendor. So in this case, Microsoft with the MVP community, but it could be other solution providers as well. So community is a way to cut through that marketing and talk to your peers and colleagues all around the world on what's actually going on, what actually works, what actually needs more work. So it's a really good way to get that real world perspective on where I should spend my time, what's impactful. Of course, there are opportunities to expand your knowledge, but also your network. So I've met a whole load of people all around the world that are interested in the same technology areas I am, because of the community, and they're people that I never would have met without the community. It's a great way to make friends as well, and kind of meet people that are happy to talk about and excited to talk about the same types of things you want to talk about as well. And I think there's also an opportunity from a very kind of career standpoint to understand what different types of roles and opportunities there are in different areas of technology. So I started off working at a Cisco partner. I learned about different areas inside of Microsoft as well, and ended up at a Microsoft partner. And I never would have moved roles and eventually end up where I am now without understanding what different people I kind of met through my community journey. Alicia, if you want to go to the why community is valuable to you, I can take through the bullets there, and then I'll get onto my journey run. Thank you. So I'll take you through my community journey. So initially I was at a Cisco partner, and interestingly at the time, and this is going back 14 years now, there wasn't very much community in that space. It was all very people held on to their own knowledge and their own configuration. It was all about building your certifications, but it wasn't much about sharing. And I started working with VMware technology, and then I started working with what was called at the time OCS and Microsoft technology, which became Teams, and it was very different. There was lots of sharing, lots of how did you configure this, blogging, Twitter. Twitter at the time became a really strong platform for sharing, and that was how I made a lot of my initial contacts. And interestingly, it was contacts all over the world, like lots of people from America at the time doing the same thing. So that was a space at the time where we all got together and shared information, and it was great to be able to just openly ask questions about how have you done this, how have you done that. That for me led on to blogging. So I started sharing my content and my experiences on my personal blog. And that was a really good opportunity to not just share, but also think through what I was sharing. I was a much better technologist and communicator because I was taking the time to explain the content, and I was getting questions back, and I was tuning the content. So that was kind of my first experience of putting content out there, thinking it through, and also getting really good feedback, and really good feedback from lots of different people. And when I say good feedback, not just praise, but also, oh, you've written you did it like this, but actually there's an opportunity to do it like that. So for the energy you put into things like blogging or community content, you often get value back in the conversations you have and network you bring. The blogging led to attending some user group events, and that was through, again, meeting people on Twitter. And the user group meetings led to a job opportunity at a Microsoft partner. So again, really kind of practical example there of it was user groups that actually led to my role, and I wouldn't have had that without community. Not long after joining that role, I co-founded a user group in London with some colleagues, and that still goes on today. So we started that in 2010. So again, kind of aging myself in community here, but we still run a quarterly user group in London, and some of the same people are still involved. We've had different people come and go, but that was the step up into kind of organizing events and activity. And from then on to now, blogging, speaking, I run a newsletter, and at the moment LinkedIn is a really great space for sharing and community content as well. And in 2021, I moved from consulting, kind of hands-on keyboard deployment, into my own company. And actually, a big part of our company, Empowering Cloud, is all around community and research around Microsoft 365. And then we have a Microsoft 365 change service we help enterprises with. But I actually kind of transitioned a lot of what I do into being able to do more community work for more of my time. So speaking, organizing events, and a big part of what we do at Empowering Cloud is actually help subject matter experts in the community share their information. So we do briefings with other subject matter experts. We do events where fireside chats where people come in and talk, and we support events that I might not even personally be involved in. The whole point is it's an Empowering Cloud platform to support the community, not just the Tom show. And that's a big part of the community journey. It's not just about you and what you're doing and what you can do. It's about kind of working as a team, empowering others, celebrating success. That's a really, really big part of it. If you could jump us forward, Luce, that'd be great. Thanks. So I guess you're here because you're interested in community. You're thinking about how can I contribute? How can I contribute more? Maybe you're thinking about going down the MVP path. Here's some thoughts from me, with a decade plus in community of how you might think about it. How might you add value? So the first thing is you'll see a lot of people doing a lot. You can do as much or as little as is appropriate for you, and it's often very seasonal with people. Life changes, roles change, jobs change, family life changes. So think about what an appropriate commitment for you is, and that might be one blog a month. It might be going to a user group every quarter. It might be being on LinkedIn every other day. It might be 10 talks throughout the year. It could be any combination of things, but be careful not to kind of overcommit and burn yourself out. If you want to be engaged in the community, it's probably going to be for the long haul. You don't need to be an MVP to add huge value, and that's a really important one. Like, it's a very prestigious badge. We're all very grateful. We get awarded it from Microsoft. We get awarded it for the content we do. But you don't need to be an MVP to be blogging, talking, speaking. And in fact, we're constantly looking for people coming through into the community to join user groups, to get involved. So don't feel like you need this badge to add value. You absolutely don't. And actually, there are lots of people in the community space who add tons of value who aren't on the MVP program and maybe don't want to be on the MVP program. So it's definitely not a prerequisite. Recommend you start attending events, either online events or in-person events. That's a great way to engage, offer to help with those events potentially. Blogging is a little bit less fashionable than it was back when I started. But if you want to be a really good communicator, blogging is a great way to get your thoughts together in a very safe, asynchronous way and then put them out in the world. And LinkedIn has a really good blogging capability to do long form posts with pictures and things. So you don't even need to set up a blog with a domain. You could just start doing long form posts on LinkedIn, get some engagement and share your information. Don't chase views. Don't think about kind of, I need hundreds of thousands of views or millions of likes. It's about reaching people and adding value, and that could be a handful of people that you could significantly add value to. It doesn't have to be these kind of vanity metrics of hundreds and thousands of people. And if and when you're ready, transitioning from kind of text-based and online stuff to speaking. So there are lots of virtual user group events online. There are physical user groups and meetups, and they're all a great opportunity to then move from this kind of online text-based to actually talking to people, engaging with people, and that's how you'll really build a networking community as well. Thanks, Luce. I could do the why community is valuable to you and then hand over if you like. So just lastly, I'll leave you this, why it's valuable to you, because it is time and effort. It's your time, it's your energy. It can be very much a win-win. It's your opportunity to give back, but it's also your opportunity to support your career. It's a great way to be informed and to have a reason to think through things. If you're going to write a blog post or you're going to do a talk, you really have to understand it. And if you have to understand it, that's going to make you a better communicator, a better technologist. Of course, you're going to build your network, and I absolutely see a lot of people, and I think most MVPs will agree. It's given them new career opportunities, new awareness of opportunities. You get access to people. So as MVPs, we get access to the Microsoft product groups, for example. But even outside of that, you'll just get access to people in other partners, in other vendors, because you're hosting the user group, because you were the person who spoke at the conference. It gives you the opportunity to improve your communication skills, which is, I think, the master skill from my point of view. Anytime you get to do that, that's going to impact your whole life and career. And if you're good and you're adding value, you get to become that expert, or at least that more knowledgeable person in the space. And that can be nothing but good for you from a personal development point of view, and for you from a career and opportunities point of view as well. I hope that was useful for you. I think we've got some questions coming in as well, but feel free to kind of reach out afterwards if there's any specific I can help with.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Tom. And this was truly inspiring. Yes, exactly. So everyone, if you have any questions for Tom, please feel free to post them here in the chat. And yeah, and with that, I'd like to give the stage now to our second speaker, Olajumoke. So, hi,
Yeah.
Ola.
Hi, Alice. Thank
So
you.
hi, nice to see you. So I know you are very active in the community as Tom, of course, and you are also the co-founder of Textilers, which is dedicated to promoting women in tech. And we'd love also to hear from you about your journey in the technical community, how you got started, and also we know you are such an incredible public speaker. So can you share also with us some tips and tricks, or do you have any recommendations for those looking to improve their public speaking skills? And let me move here also the slides. Yes.
Absolutely, Alice. I'm very glad to be here, and I'm glad to share my journey, and also to give our audience some few tips that they can use in mastering the hearts of being a confident communicator at the end of the day. Thank you so much. So, yes, I'll tell you your presentation on public speaking, but then before I go in, I think I want to touch a little bit on my community journey. And so it's been quite a journey, I would say, and then it's been very, very rewarding. I would say that I started my journey with 9 MCTs, that is Microsoft Certified Trainers, coming together, and then we started the MCT Niger group. Niger was just a fun name for Nigeria, I mean, and then we started that in 2016, and then the community grew to just from 10 MCTs coming together with a vision to share, to impact the community, the tech community, but most especially Microsoft, around Microsoft technologies. We grew to 70 users in 2017, and then in 2017 we did something spectacular. We had our first MCT West Africa Tech Summit, then in Lagos, and then from there we moved from 2017, 2028 to date. We've been having the MCT West African Summit. I mean, you can see from the slide different names of what we did to eat. I think what was spectacular was during the COVID time. There was this urgency that you wanted to give to the community. So we all came together and then we did something really, really spectacular around that time. And then, like I said, the community is still growing. We have a lot of community focused group from the Nigeria M365 to the Azure Nigeria.
I'm so sorry. Your audio is a bit chippy, so we were thinking maybe you can try to reconnect, and maybe we can have Rachel first, if that's okay with you, because it seems you. So we sound a bit electric somehow.
Sorry, and I was talking on.
No, that's fine. That's a live event, so this can happen. Okay. Maybe it's the Wi-Fi or something. Right. Maybe you can just try to reconnect. Now? Yes, I can hear you better.
It's a lot better now, right?
Say something again.
Hello, is it a lot better now?
Yes, that's better. Yes, and I can also read in here the comments. Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
Hello. So I think I stopped. Should I go over that again? I guess. Hello, Alice. Can you hear me? Hello.
Ola, yes, we can hear you. So,
All right, great. Okay, so I just want to throw a little bit of light to how my community journey was. And it's still, like I said, it's been quite a lot of fun. It's been very, very rewarding. I started my community journey with 9 Microsoft certified trainers. We came together in 2016, and what we did was to start the MCT Niger group, and then we grew up from there to 2017. We became.
Ola, I'm so sorry. We can't hear you very clear. I'm so sorry for that. Maybe, yeah, let's do like this. Let's try to reconnect. So we
Okay.
will,
All right.
maybe we can jump to Rachel first, and then we'll come back to you. Let's see if this works.
Okay.
Okay, let's try this.
Right. Let's see if that works.
Okay, so everyone, sorry for this. That's a live event, and we are spread across the world. So so we need to to jump to the next speaker. So this will be Rachel, and then we'll go back to Ola. Hopefully, the audio will be better. So Rachel, thank you so much for joining. And so we know that before joining the Most Valuable Professional program, you were already very active in the technical community. You were mentoring fellow students, you were helping them. So also for you, can you share a bit more about your journey and how this journey has evolved since then, leading up to your recognition as a most valuable professional? And so we also know that you have a very strong online presence. So can you share some tips and tricks on how you have built and strengthened your online profiles, your online presence? I think this would be really interesting for the audience. And I'm moving the slides for you.
Yeah, okay. You can hear me clearly, right?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Good. Okay. So, hi, everyone. My name is Rachel Rabo. I'm a Microsoft MVP. I graduated from the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors Program last year. I work as a Power Platform and a Dynamics 365 CRM developer. And my journey actually started from 2021, the ending of 2021. And I got to learn about the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors Program as a student. Like, I actually had no idea of what my future is going to be like or what the next career was going to be like before learning about the community. My journey started from a boot camp where I got to learn about Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors Program, which is amazing. So if you're actually a student, you're listening to this, I really want you to listen and apply to join the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors Program. So I joined the program, and from there I got to learn so many things. I got to work on my public speaking skills. I got to work to collaborate with different people from different parts of the world. I got to like before I started as a student, the first thing I learned before I got into tech, I joined a boot camp, which is Power Platform Bootcamp, and I got to learn about the Student Ambassadors Program. So I got to a point where I actually was not seeing a lot of people who were in the Power Platform, but joining the Student Ambassadors Program actually helped me a lot because I saw students like myself who were also pursuing a career in Power Platform or they were learning Power Platform. So I used the opportunity while I was learning, I used the opportunity to mentor other students, both from different parts of the world and also in Nigeria, which is where I'm from. I got the opportunity to host an event. That is why I learned that hosting an event and speaking at an event, it's two different things. because it's not easy hosting an event. If you want to speak at an event, you just have to prepare your slide, make sure you understand what you're speaking at that event. But hosting an event, you actually have to be in the background doing everything, reaching out to people. If it's a visual event, you have to set up the links, you have to invite people. So it's a lot of work. The Students Ambassadors Program helps me with that. I also got the opportunity to lead communities. I'm part of the leadership team in Power Platform User Group Nigeria. I also got to volunteer in different communities from different parts of the world. I created Twitter Spaces. With different students where we talked about Azure, we talked about what was happening in the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors Program. So like my learning journey from being a student to being a Microsoft MVP was just me learning, and also the community helping me in every step I made. And I also got the opportunity to create a podcast. I was working on, this is with me being a student, I created a podcast. I was working on my public speaking skills, and I also wanted to learn from people and also share to others, okay, this is how a technology is, this is how you can start. I featured a lot of students, featured Microsoft partners, people from the community, people working in Microsoft, which was amazing. I also got the opportunity to create a YouTube channel because I had an issue with, like now, right now, I'm speaking to you, which is amazing. But when I started my journey in tech, I had issues with looking at the camera. I had issues with looking at the camera and speaking. So it was difficult for me. So being able to do these things step-by-step process, and also the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors Program, having their monthly meetups, giving us the opportunity to learn, sharing resources, creating opportunities where we can be ourselves. And if you ask me a question, like if you ask me a question right now, like, Rachel, what is the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors Program? Can I join as a student? You can, no matter how much load, like as a student, you have a lot going on, you can, because it's depth-based. You don't have to stress yourself so much about it. And I also got the opportunity to create communities and blogging. So when I moved from, while being a student, I got an opportunity, like an interview, where they interviewed me, like, Rachel, they asked me different questions. And one of the things that surprised them when I told them that as a student, I was teaching others, they were really surprised, like, wow, that's amazing. That's really, really amazing. And that is what got me the job I'm working right now as a Power Platform and a Dynamics 365 CRM developer. And I moved to Malta from Nigeria. I'm moving to Malta. I also continued with the community. It's amazing. I continued with the community. I continued contributing to the community. And I created a community here in Malta, which is the Dynamics 365 and Power Platform User Group Malta. I continued blogging. I continued mentorship, hosting events, speaking at events. So you can see from where I started and where I am right now, it's actually still the same thing I'm doing. I continued blogging, I continued hosting events, I continued collaborating with different people from different parts of the world. And in 2024, I was nominated to join the Microsoft MVP program, which is totally amazing. Okay, the next slide. So the question, like, if you check my profile on LinkedIn, I have like 7,000 plus followers. And also on Twitter, I have like 5,000 plus followers. And if you ask me a question like, as a student, Rachel, how can I build my online presence? I'm actually just figuring out what to do, or maybe I'm figuring out what to do, or I don't know how to do this because I'm a student. So the first thing I did that really helped me was I joined the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors Program. I did not just join, but I was also active in the program. I hosted events, I attended the monthly meetups. I tried to be in as much things I could, and it was really amazing. It helped me a lot. It helped me with my technical skills. It helped me with my soft skills. And also, I connected with individuals in the same career path as mine. Like if you see the timeline, there was a point where I had an issue. I did not really know what the next step was. Or, okay, I already had an idea, okay, I love Power Platform, but I was not seeing a lot of people who were doing Power Platform. So I started following people online who were using Power Platform, and also who were using the hashtag for Power Platform, for Power Addicts. That helped me a lot. And I started sharing resources online, and I started engaging with the community. Sharing resources, it doesn't have to be something so technical or so professional. It can be something simple. It can be as simple as what is programming languages, examples of programming languages, just something simple. It doesn't have to be so difficult or so professional. So I started sharing resources online. I started engaging with people like on their comments. I just ask them questions, or I say, okay, wow, this is amazing. I just pick a few points and say it I just add a few points to what was posted. I also spoke at events. So right now, I've had the opportunity to speak at Ignite. I also spoke at Microsoft Build. I've spoken at different events. So, and it doesn't have to be something so big. It can be visual events. You can attend visual events. You can reach out to people who have user group, like they are leaders of user groups. You can reach out to them and tell them that, hi, I would love to speak at your event. And this is a topic I would love to speak about. It can be an introduction. The first topic I spoke about, that was in 2022, early 2022. And it was something very simple that you can achieve, that you can build 5 minutes. I just showed them what it does, the aim of the Power Ultimate Flow, and the reason why it was built. So it can be something simple. It can be just the business value of a tool. It doesn't have to be very difficult. I got a question on Twitter. I wrote a post on Twitter that I said, if you are a beginner in tech or a beginner, if you're a beginner in tech or a beginner in your career, the first thing I will tell you that you need to work on your soft skills, and also you need to try speaking at events. And somebody asked me, Rachel, I'm a beginner in tech. What should I speak about? It doesn't have to be something so difficult. It can be your journey, you just sharing your journey, how you started, how you are progressing. It can be as simple as that. A lot of people would love to listen to you. And I also worked on volunteering. I reached out to a lot of communities. I reached out like, okay, maybe an event, they're hosting an event online or a physical event. I reached out, is there a way I can help you? Is there anything that you would need help with? Or if I'm part of a community, I try as much as possible to be active. I try as much as possible to be active to help out in any way I can. It can be with posting. It can just be with replying questions. Like when somebody asks a question and something that I know or I understand, I can easily just answer that question. And that gives you visibility. From there, people get to know about you. Okay, this person is very active. This is not the first time that she's replying here, or this is what she has been doing. People get to talk about you. It gives you visibility, and also it helps with people. It helps with, you might not be in a room and somebody will recommend you like, okay, there's something I want to do. I think Rachel will be good for this. So stuff like that. Then I also shared my journey online. When I started my journey, I shared on how I was doing a lot of things in the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors program as a student, how I was hosting events. I shared them online. No matter how small it was, I talked about it online. And I also was consistent. I was consistent with sharing my journey. I was consistent with sharing resources online. It doesn't have to be every day. It can be once in a week, twice in a week. It can be 3 times in a month. You don't have to do it every day. And even when you are not consistent, maybe you stop for a while, you can definitely come back. Nobody is judging you. Okay, the next slide. And how to build an amazing profile and network. So a lot of people, they talk about networking, that it's important that you network, that your network is your network is going to take you to a lot of places, it's going to give you job opportunities, it's going to give you other opportunities. But I feel that networking just is more of creating friends, like Tom talked about getting friends in the community. It's just having friends. people that you can rely on and they can rely on you. So it should be a 50-50 relationship. And you can network through events, volunteering. You can build your profile through volunteering. You can reach out for mentorship. If there's a particular career path, there are different types of mentorship. It might be mentorship for a soft skill. It might be mentorship for public speaking. It might be mentorship for being able to solve problems. It might be mentorship on how to code on a particular language. There are different types of mentorship. Maybe there's a particular thing you want to achieve and you need a mentor for it. So mentorship is also a great way to grow your profile, because your mentor can actually recommend you to other people. And yeah, that's basically it. Okay, I think that's my slide. Next slide. And I don't think we have any questions.
So
Thank you.
thank you so much, Rachel. And this was very inspiring. Let's check on the chats. I'm sure there might be some comments. So everybody, if you have some questions for Rachel, please feel free to post those here in the chat. So we'll try to answer them as we talk. And I think now we can try to get Ola back with no camera. So let's see if it works this way. I'm also here going back to Ola slides. Ola, can you hear me?
Perfectly, I can hear you. Can you hear me also?
Okay. I think we can hear you now better. Let me check here on the chat. Sorry, it seems here it's frozen for me, so it's not it's not working. But I can hear you. So I'll try to move your slides. But yeah, you can take it from where you have stopped. Okay.
All right, thank you, Alice. Apologies once again for the technological glitch. I think the presentation got on my case today anyway. All right, so can I have my slide? Yeah. All right, beautiful. That's it. Yeah, thank you. All right. So like I said earlier, I started up my community journey just with nice set of MCTs. MCT stands for Microsoft Certified Trainers. We started off in 2016, and we created the MCT Niger group. We just 10 MCT coming together, having a vision to do what, to impact the community, to impact lives, to be able to share from a Microsoft technology perspective the different technologies that we know that people are using within the ecosystem. And then from there, from 2017, we did our Microsoft certified trainers West Africa Tech Summit, then in Lagos. And then from 2018 till date, we've been doing that. Our next summit is actually happening in Ghana, because it's a West African thing. And then one of the things that I would say was a really was that big thing for me while in the community was during the COVID period. Like I said, there was that sense of giving back. There was that sense of community passion that you just want to give back to people, seeing people staying at home and all of that. So we came together and the community grew very fast during the COVID period, even to a 20,000 community across the West Africa. And then in 2020 also, just like I said, the passion also grew for, we're not just focused on just a community that is made up of men and women, but we saw that there was a need to be more focused on women because of the low representation in the tech industry. And so I co-founded Textiler with a very good friend of mine, Foyi. for Olajide Bello. And then we co-founded Textile, a community that is focused on supporting women, who desired growth in their in technology. And what we did was to start off with some few women that have been in the technology industry, and then we brought ourselves together. We tried to mentor these young people that are coming up with a lot of Microsoft technologies. We were taking them Power Platform, Microsoft 365, Azure, UI, US, and then interestingly, we found out that people decided to say, oh, in a spirit of not being biased, we started seeing even our male counterpart wanting to join our group. And then, as a way of fun, we told them, if you can wear a virtual skirt, no problem, you're welcome to join a women community and all of that. And it's been a very, very rewarding journey, because from 2021 to 2023, we grew to 1,000 plus. And then one beautiful thing we did was to extend our outreach to the northern part of Nigeria. The northern part of Nigeria happens to be the parts that you have not only low representation of women in tech, but they are sometimes these are people that are technologically disadvantaged, even educationally disadvantaged. And we saw the hunger there, and then we extended our tentacles there. Then fast forward till date 2024, last year makes it 4 years that we've been in the community, impacting lives, and then we've been doing a lot of tech deep dive. A tech deep dive cohort consists of all of this technology, these technologies I talked about, Azure, M365 Power Platform. We brought women from all over the world, so to say, because we have outreach in US, in Europe, in Malta. Rachel, that just finished talking, is one of our tech mentors. And then we have people from the north, from Ghana, from South Africa, and we've grew so much. We have over 30 tech mentors to date, and then a lot of success story has come out from even our graduation rates, because we have a lot of our mentees having up to 85% of graduate rate is what we've recorded last year, and this year we're moving forward. So that's just a little bit of my community journey. But then, like I said, today's topic really is for us to learn how to ace our presentation and public speaking skills. One of the things that the two speakers before me have spoken is that you at some point in your journey as a community leader, or even aspiring to be one of the things you need to be able to do is to be able to present, is to be able to speak. Your speaking engagement, your delivery is what matters, is what captivates or inspire people even to listen to you or to even want to become like you. So the importance of how to ace your presentation and public speaking skill is one of the tips I'm going to be giving today. So next slide. Okay. So 75% of individuals really experience glossophobia, which is the fear of public speaking. And then, like I said, one of the things that is quite very important is that your presentation skills is one of the most sought after abilities that you must have, not only in your professional life, but even in your personal life. It's part of one of the things that you should have. So public speaking is one of the essential skills, and it plays a significant role in both professional and personal life. And one of the things is that it is not merely about you just delivering a speech. It's more than that. It's the ability for you to be able to connect. It's the ability for you to be able to engage, for you to be able to inspire and then your audience effectively. And then the encouraging aspect is that public speaking is something you can learn. So don't flog yourself to say, oh, somebody speak better than me, or I'm not sure I can deliver that speech very well. No, don't flog yourself around that. It is something that you can actually learn with consistent practice. And one of the things that you need to know is that for you to be able to have a strong public speaking skills, then you have to have an effective presentation ability, which is quite very important. To the next slide, please. Why presentation and public speaking matters. All right. So why does presentation and public speaking, why does it really matter? What is it about it that it is important for me to have? One, it helps you to build your confidence and your leadership skills. I mean, you for you to be able to engage, for you to be able to make that lasting impression on your audience, you must be able to speak in a way that resonates with them. Another thing is it helps you to enhance your career opportunities and your professional growth. One of the things again it does for you is that it helps to influence, it helps to persuade and inspire the people that you're speaking with, and more importantly, improve your communication and your critical thinking skill. Tom said it the other time. One of the skills that is sought out even for you as a community leader is the ability for you to be able to communicate effectively. And most importantly, when you're solving problems, it helps you also to do what? To improve on your critical thinking skills. And then, so that's why presentation and public speaking really, really matters. Next slide, please. Common public speaking challenges. I just don't want to leave you and think, oh, is that easy? And like I said earlier enough, public speaking is not something that is really, really, really difficult. It is something that you have to learn. But sometimes one of the challenges that we face is the fear of judgment, of failure, or like I said before, glossophobia. And then the lack of preparation or structure is another reason why you can have some challenges when you're speaking in the public. Also, difficulty engaging the audience, and then the nervousness and anxiety. Most importantly, how you navigate around. A lot of the time, the nervousness and anxiety is very, very important. Sometimes things happen. You can have glitches, just like I have some few moments ago. But if you're a very good public speaker who have learned, you will have learned very well. I mean, the course of time, you'll be able to navigate around those glitches, those difficulties, those nervousness or anxiety, and that's what you can do even when you when things happen, when things goes wrong, you can actually get your track back and then be able to deliver that speech or deliver that presentation in a very effective way that can impact your audience. Now, I want us to look quickly at the three pillars of a great presentation that will help you to enhance your public speaking skills. One of it is preparation, and then we move on to delivery and engagement. Alice, the next slide, please. Let's look at pillar one, which is the preparation. One of the things you want to learn to do in your presentation is for you to know your audience. Today you have a lot of demographics that you have to think about. You have to think about how you will structure your content or tailor your content to the needs, to the different needs of your audience. You have the Gen Z. The way you present a solution to a Gen Z will be different. The way you present to a professional person is also going to be different. The way you will present to one that has some form of level of understanding, and probably maybe they just want something to touch on their level of understanding. So it's very, very important for you to know your audience so that you can tailor your content to their needs, to their interests, and the level of understanding. More importantly, another thing you will need to do around this preparation stage is for you to structure your content. You want to be able to use very clear frameworks. Your introduction, your body language, your conclusion should be very, very effective in communicating your ideas or communicating your message to your audience. And most importantly, you want to practice, you want to rehearse multiple times for you to be able to build confidence and fluency in how you deliver your message. One of the good tools you can use with this is if you go to PowerPoint on the slide, show on the slide tab, you actually see the rehearsal coach. And that is something you can use several times to see how you can get yourself, train yourself on most times on how you can present, and then you can deliver effectively to people. The second pillar, next slide, is the delivery. Now, for delivery, it's very important, which is that you want to master non-verbal communication. And what do I mean by this? Your body language is quite very important when you are presenting. Most importantly, when you're presenting physically, you want to maintain eye contact. Your gesture, you want to use open gesture. You want to stand confidently. Sometimes I tell myself when I want to do any form of presentation, it's very important for you to even do that breathing exercise. You breathe in and out, you breathe in and out, because you want to exhale the bad energy and all of that. So one of the things you will want to take care of is your delivery. Your delivery is quite very important. And most importantly, your voice modulation. You want to vary your tone, the space at which it comes, the volume, to be able to keep your audience engaged. Your audience already know, all they want from you is that you should succeed. So don't get yourself too nervous. Breathe deeply. Focus on your message. Remember that it is not all about you just speaking, but it is about you imparting. It is about you connecting. Is about you delivering that message. And most times, what is very important during your delivery phase is for you to pause for impact. At some time, you want to use strategic pauses to emphasize key points. You want to, when you're talking, you want to pause and hear, what are the people thinking about what you're saying? You might want to, just give maybe a beautiful quote, and then you want to look out for the audience. Think about what they're saying. If it is a virtual, if it is a virtual presentation, you also want to make use of some of the polls and all of that. So you might want to pause in between your presentation for you to be able to emphasize your key points. And then most importantly, learn how to handle nerves. Even the greatest orator, at one point or the other, for the first few minutes of any presentation, they fidget. That's natural. That's what makes you vulnerable. That's what makes you human. So, like I said, breathe deeply most times, focus on your message. Remember that your audience are not, they are looking up to you to give them that message. And one of the things I used to tell people is this: the first 3 minutes of your message, of your presentation, is when you can engage your audience with determining whether your audience are actually going to listen to you or they are going to be discouraged. And then sometimes the audience can even be a little bit magnanimous and give you an extra 2 minutes if you're having maybe the way you come off from your presentation, for your introduction. They might give you an extra 2 minutes and see where is this heading to. But if you decide not to focus on that, it can actually impact your delivery at the end of the day. So it is very, very important that you have a very good delivery, maintain eye contact, use open gestures, and then be very confident in your speech. And lastly, the third pillar will be the engagement. Now, one of the things that is very important when you're presenting, especially when it is a public speaking, is that you want to start strong. You want to start strong by starting with a story. You can open your message with a story. You can open it with a question or even a surprising fact, because you want to grab the attention of your audience. You can, and if you look at some of the things I did, is a fact that 75% of people suffer from what? From glossophobia, because of fear of public or fear of public speaking or judgment and all of that. That captivates the audience, because at the end of the day, the audience wants to know, how do I get out of being one of these 75%? They're interested in knowing that. So sometimes you want to start strong. You want to open with a story. You want to start with a question. And most importantly, master the use of visual aids. How do you master the use of visual aids? Use your slide, the transition, the animation, make it very interesting, interactive, that even when even when your content is engaging, at the end of the day, your slide, the images, the videos, they can help you to enhance your message. But more importantly, avoid cluster. It's quite very I mean, important. Again, you make use of interactive elements like ask question, use polls, or encourage participation. Like I said, if it is a virtual presentation or you're doing that, one of the things you want to do is to make use of polls to see whether even your audience are still with you. And then you can tell stories, stories that make your message relatable and memorable is quite very important. And then you can end with a call to action. A call to action that is, you can leave your audience with a clear next step or thought-provoking idea of what you have been speaking about or what you want them to do based on the message you have delivered. Now, those are the three pillars of a good presentation that can help you ace your public speaking. But I want to move on to what are the common mistakes we need to avoid even when we're doing presentation. To the next slide, please. One of the first thing you want to do, some of the common mistakes you want to avoid is to avoid the fact that you do not want to read from your slide. Now, the slides are a visual aid. They are not something that has to be a karaoke kind of song, or you have to read from it from the beginning to the end, or it's not going to be like a script. People are not interested in it. So when you are with your audience and they find that at every minute you're reading from your slide, then they help you alongside to read, and you don't really get their audience. Sometimes even some of them have even finished reading it before you start reading. So one of the things I will encourage you to use is make use of the notes. The notes can help you guide the direction of your speech, can help you guide the direction of your presentation. So avoid reading from slide. Then more importantly, keep it very simple. Information overloading is one of the things that the mistakes we make when we're presenting. We feel that it's the more your slides are, the more you have a very big slide, or the more you have the whole slide page congested, cluster, that is when you're delivering. No, you can just have some bulleted points, and with those bulleted points you can start talking on that. That helps you with your presentation. In fact, some people get scary when they have like it scares them off when they see a slide that is congested, that is so congested. They just get scared of that. Oh, what's all of these? And then sometimes you lose your audience just by that. So overloading of information, keep it very simple. Then most importantly, respect your audience time. A lot of people get, if they know that is your pattern, but if you sometimes, I know that you can get away with it if your presentation is quite very interesting, but then it's very important for you to respect your audience time. And lastly, show passion for your topic. It is quite very contagious when you show passion for your topic, when you deliver your presentation with some form of passion. And this comes from your body language, from even your tone. Most times people may not even be able to see you, but then you're connecting because you captivated them. There is the passion that is coming out from your tone even as you're presenting. So show passion from your topic, and then this is quite very contagious. And then one of the things I would like to leave you with a story. Sometimes you may have a very good presentation, but you have, when I started off with presenting in those days, you just find that maybe when I've gone to bed and maybe in the midnight I just wake up and I just have these syndromes. This imposter syndrome just coming after me, and then they will now be asking, do you see the way you pronounce that English? Do you see the way you pronounce those words? Do you see the way you deliver that? Oh, people are bothered because your English sounds somehow, and all of that. And then they will take me through a journey of regret, into a land of regret where I did not even bargain for. And then I find myself going on that journey for a while. And then earlier enough, good for me, I was able to overcome that. What I did in those days was, okay, let me have a conversation with myself. Am I going to call the same audience back and tell them that this is the real pronunciation of the word of the word I pronounced during my presentation of this? So sometimes avoid that. Avoid the imposter syndrome. You are not perfect. You are a human. You are vulnerable. What is very important is that those mistakes that comes are actually lessons for you to get better. I'll tell you, in those days, I will start in the middle of the night, I'll go to Google and start searching just to justify the way I pronounce that word. Maybe there is another country that pronounces it that way. You get? But after wasting a lot of time, I just tell to myself, am I going to call the audience back and tell them this is the way this pronunciation is wrong? But you see, grow, learn from your mistake, grow from it, learn to adapt, learn to you are human. So when you make mistake in a presentation, and even if it is a pronunciation, what I do these days, if I was to pronounce a word and then maybe the words is breaking my teeth, you will see me in that presentation just say, oh guys, please fill in the gap for me. You are human, you're vulnerable, so don't try to be that superman when you're doing presentation. What is important, like I said, your audience wants you to succeed. They are eager to hear from you, so don't let any form of mistake get you carried away or let you be distracted from delivering the message. And finally, I will leave you with this slide. The feedbacks and improvements are quite very important. Next, the feedback and improvements are quite very important. You want to seek constructive feedback from peers. Each time I finish my presentation, I'll ask my friends, I'll ask my family member, how did it go? Can you tell me something really constructive that I should do or I should work on? Don't tell me it is all good. Is there anything I need to work on? So seek for that. And again, continue to practice and learn. When we were growing up, one of the things that my father encouraged us to do was to listen to news. So you see the way these newscaster they talk. So you want to learn for you to be a great speaker. So listen to things like TED Talks, motivational speaker. Look at the way they talk. Look at how they do their gesture and all of that. Those are things that can help you. And then finally, read books or take courses on communication and public speaking. So finally, I knew I've said finally like 3 times, but this is really finally. So bear with me. So the key takeaways from my presentation is that public speaking is a skill that you can master. And you can master it with preparation and practice. Don't overflog yourself when you make mistakes. Learn from the mistake and become better. More importantly, focus on your audience. Structure your message. Use body language that can resonate with your audience. Embrace nervousness as a natural part of the process. The first 3 minutes you can be nervous, but ensure that even as you're nervous, you can gain your bearing at the end of the day and you can be more composed in the way you deliver your message. And finally, I will leave you with this message. Speech is power. Speech is to persuade, to convert, to compel, and it is said by Ralph Waldo Emerson. So what you need to know is that as you deliver in a powerful way, as you deliver to persuade your audience, you can actually inspire them to become like you someday. So thank you guys for listening to me. And once again, I apologize for that glitches that happened earlier on. So over to you, Alice.
Yeah, this was great, Ola. Thank you so much, and I'm so happy it worked in the end. Again, you never know what happens during live event and with internet connection. So, but there were so many great learnings and takeaways. So thank you so much. And I know we are running a bit out of time, but we've promised to tell you something about the Microsoft Most Valuable Professional Program, or MVP program. So I'm going here through the slide very quickly, and I'll hand it over to my colleagues Betsy and Claire to share some more insights and info. So thank you. Hi, Betsy. Hi, Claire.
Hi, thanks, Alice. So during this presentation, we're going to share a little bit more about the Microsoft MVP program, what it takes to be an MVP, the benefits, and a little bit more. So what is the Microsoft MVP program? MVP stands for Most Valuable Professional. So this is an award that recognizes exceptional community leaders who share their passion, technical expertise, and real-world knowledge of the Microsoft products and services with others. So it's Microsoft's way of saying thanks to these outstanding community leaders. So with that, we'll get started. So who are the MVPs? There's several on chat today, and you've heard from a few already in this call. So MVPs are community leaders who've demonstrated a deep understanding of Microsoft technologies and have actively contributed to the community through a variety of methods, such as speaking, organizing events, writing blogs, creating content, giving feedback to Microsoft. They are not Microsoft employees, but they're highly respected for their contributions and insight. So the MVP program connects technical community leaders with Microsoft, and it's that unique opportunity for those who are passionate about technology and eager to make a positive impact in the community. So where are MVPs located? They are all around the world, and chances are there might be some MVPs even located near you. We've got over 3,500 of them, and in over 96 countries, and they speak over 45 different languages. And I'll put a link in chat on how you can find an MVP to connect with them. So as we've talked about, MVPs contribute to the community in a variety of different ways. Some like to organize events or user groups. Some like to do public speaking. Some write books or create tutorials or have podcasts or help in forums or mentor students. There's many different ways that MVPs contribute to the community. And why would you want to join the MVP program? What are you going to achieve? With the MVP award, you'll build those skills. You'll get insider access to Microsoft products and services and those teams that create the products that you use every day. You'll grow your career and your network. You'll be a part of this global community. You'll get invited to events. Like Rachel mentioned, she was on the stage at Ignite being interviewed. Lots of insider opportunities like that. And of course, you'll get that direct contact with Microsoft product groups, so you can share your insight and feedback and more, and learn about roadmaps and upcoming features before they're public. So lots of great benefits like that. And with that, I'm going to pass this over to Claire.
That's brilliant. Thanks a lot, Betsy. So I'm just going to share with you a little bit more about the MVP program and the nomination process. But we wanted to share this slide. Apologies if you wouldn't mind going back. Sorry, I made that sound like we were jumping forward a slide. Apologies. But actually, you know, before you think about the MVP program, you've got to think about where you're going to start on your community journey. And it's been really interesting to watch the chat. So thank you to everybody who's been adding their brilliant comments about what they've been doing in the community. But actually, one of the biggest pieces of advice that we can impart on this call is start with a community activity that you really love doing. So if you really love writing, then blogging is probably the right option for you, or writing a book or writing articles. But also think about speaking. Public speaking might be something that you really enjoy. There's lots of user groups and meetup groups that you can go out to. Reach out to the leaders of those groups and ask them if you can volunteer, or if you can do a speaking session, or even a co-presenting session. And also think about how to differentiate yourself in the community. You can see on this slide that we've got a great MVP who does sketch notes, and she publishes those on social media, and they've really, really resonated well with people. It's also a brilliant opportunity for you to learn. If you're on a journey of knowing about a new technology, you can guarantee that somebody else is too. So make sure that you are documenting what you're doing and also sharing what you're doing. It's a really inspirational thing for people to see and enjoy and consume, because they will use this content. So, you know, just going back to the comment that I made at the beginning, just really think about what you love doing and then use that as maybe one of the first contributions that you start on this great community journey that you're on. Thanks. So once you've been in the community for 12 months or longer, and you've been actively doing activities, you may want to think about coming into the MVP program. Now, you know, it's amazing to be a community leader. And as Betsy and Alice have both said, we are looking for people who are doing a lot of community activities and have deep technical knowledge in particular areas. Now, you can be nominated to get an MVP, and that comes from an active MVP or a Microsoft employee. They're the only people that can actually nominate you. And when you are nominated, you will be sent an email inviting you to submit all of your community contributions. And we really ask you to think very carefully about what content you add in there. And also, please complete all the relevant steps that we ask you to go through. This helps us do a really thorough review and evaluation of all of your community activity. So once we've got all of your great information in the nomination form, what will happen is a group of people will actually look at that content, and then a final decision will be made about whether or not the MVP award will be offered to you. And that happens at the beginning of each month. And I know both Alice and Betsy mentioned to me at the beginning of the call that, you know, to re-emphasize that being an MVP is about going on a journey. So if you don't receive the MVP award the first time, then please understand that it is an open door and that you can come back, and we are also willing to offer feedback and support where we can. So just moving on to the last slide. There are award categories that I think you will find interesting if you are considering being part of the MVP program. So you can find all of this great information on the MVP website. We've put the link up there. But these are all the award categories that are available to you. And when you are submitting your nomination or thinking about whether or not you would like to become an MVP, we do encourage you to think about 2 particular technology or award areas that are of most interest to you. And then you can obviously align your contributions accordingly. So if you are interested in the program, then you have got the MVP website there that you can go and look at, and there's much more information. You can also reach out to an MVP in your area and in your region. You can do that using the Find an MVP function on the MVP website. And as Maria mentioned at the beginning of this call, you can also go along and look at all the great and amazing sessions and content that's being produced by the Reactor team. So just a final and huge thank you to everybody who has presented on this session. We really hope you found it interesting. We've put all of this information up there. Please reach out to any of us. And we will be running more sessions like this. So please join us for the next one. But just handing it back to Alice in case you have any closing comments.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Claire and Betsy. So as Claire was saying, we hope this live event was interesting. We hope we could share some great stories from active and engaged community leaders, some insights into the Microsoft Most Valuable Professional. And as Claire was mentioning, we are planning to run monthly calls on this topic. So check it out. We'll share very soon details with you, and we hope to see you on our next call. So thank you everybody. Bye.